Practice set 3.3. 1. In the figure, points G, D, E, F are concyclic points of a circle with center C. Angle ECF is equal to 70 degree. Measure of arc DGF is equal to 200 degree. Find the measure of arc DE and measure of arc DEF. Here's the solution. By definition of measure of an arc, measure of arc EF is equal to measure of angle ECF. Therefore, measure of arc EF is equal to 70 degree, since it is given that angle ECF is equal to 70 degree. Measure of a circle is 360 degree. Therefore, measure of arc DE plus measure of arc EF plus measure of arc DGF is equal to 360 degree. Now, since it is given that measure of arc DGF is equal to 200 degree, therefore, measure of arc DE plus 70 degree plus 200 degree is equal to 360 degree. Therefore, measure of arc DE plus 270 degree is equal to 360 degree. Therefore, measure of arc DE is equal to 360 degree minus 270 degree, that is equal to 90 degree. Now, by arc addition postulate, measure of arc DE plus measure of arc EF is equal to measure of arc DEF. Therefore, 90 degree plus 70 degree is equal to measure of arc DEF. Therefore, measure of arc DEF is equal to 160 degree. So here's the answer. 1. Measure of arc DE is equal to 90 degree. And 2. Measure of arc DEF is equal to 160 degree. In the figure, triangle QRS is an equilateral triangle. Prove that 1. Arc RS is congruent to arc QS is congruent to arc QR. And 2. Measure of arc QRS is equal to 240 degree. Here's the proof. Given that triangle QRS is an equilateral triangle, therefore, segment QR is congruent to segment RS is congruent to segment QS, since they are the sides of an equilateral triangle. Now, can you name the arcs corresponding to these chords? Yes, they are arc QR, arc RS, and arc QS respectively. You have learned the theorem. The arcs of the same circle corresponding to the congruent chords are congruent. Therefore, arc QR is congruent to arc RS is congruent to arc QS. Since arc QR, arc RS, and arc QS constitute a full circle, and the measure of a circle is 360 degree, therefore, measure of arc QR plus measure of arc RS plus measure of arc QS is equal to 360 degree. Let measure of arc QR equal to measure of arc RS is equal to measure of arc QS be equal to x. Then, measure of arc QR plus measure of arc RS plus measure of arc QS is equal to 360 degree. Therefore, x plus x plus x is equal to 360 degree. Therefore, 3x is equal to 360 degree. Therefore, x is equal to 360 degree upon 3, which is equal to 120 degree. Therefore, measure of arc QR is equal to measure of arc RS is equal to measure of arc QS is equal to 120 degree. Next, we have to find the measure of arc QRS. Observe the figure once again. You will notice that measure of arc QRS is equal to measure of arc QR plus measure of arc RS as per the arc addition property. So that is equal to 120 degree plus 120 degree, which is equal to 240 degree. Hence, measure of arc QRS is equal to 240 degree is proved. 3. In the figure, chord AB is congruent to chord CD. Prove that arc AC is congruent to arc BD. Here's the proof. Chord AB is congruent to chord CD is given. Therefore, arc ACB is congruent to arc CBD since arcs corresponding to congruent chords are congruent. Therefore, measure of arc ACB is equal to measure of arc CBD. Let this be statement 1. Now, by arc addition property, measure of arc ACB is equal to measure of arc AC plus measure of arc CB. Let this be statement 2. And measure of arc CBD is equal to measure of arc CB plus measure of arc BD. Let this be statement 3. From statements 1, 2, and 3, we get measure of arc AC plus measure of arc CB is equal to measure of arc CB plus measure of arc BD. Cancelling measure of arc CB from both the sides, we get measure of arc AC is equal to measure of arc BD. Therefore, arc AC is congruent to arc BD.
you.